Hello, hello. Welcome. We are live. Welcome to Cooking with Chef Frank. My name is Frank Kramer, and I'm your host, and I'm the founder of Eat Like a Vegan Chef. So today we're going to cook vegan crepes with a warm apple cinnamon filling. Okay, welcome to this episode, and I apologize that we actually start earlier than usual. Usually we are at 2 p.m. Eastern time, but today I have to start at 12. I apologize for that. But nevertheless, you can actually find the recording on YouTube or on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Eat Like a Vegan Chef. Welcome, welcome everyone. If you don't mind, just saying hello or introducing yourself so I know you're there. It's always nice to talk to an audience. Thank you. Hi, Brenda. Welcome everyone to this episode. It's actually my 72 episode, and today we are going to cook vegan crepes with a warm apple cinnamon filling. Hi, Francis. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Susan. Okay, good. So let's get started. The crepes I'm featuring today are actually made from chickpea flour and whole wheat flour. Um, the reason why I chose the two flours is chickpea flour is a very light flour. It's has a lot of fibers in there. It's great for our diet. But beside that, I chose the whole wheat flour to complement the chickpea flour. The chickpea flour is a little bit on the beanie side, so to speak. So as long as you add extra flavors in there, it's all fine. But if you could actually use the chickpea flour on its own, it would work absolutely perfect. If you don't mind, the slight flavor of the chickpeas. I see that we have quite a few people from Facebook. If that doesn't work or if it's unstable, you can also switch to YouTube. YouTube seems to be always very steady. Okay, Susan is asking, where do we find chickpea flour? Almost every supermarket nowadays has chickpea flour. It also called Garbanzo flour. This is the one I'm buying. And you get this in any organic store. So this actually, this is gluten-free, obviously, and you could use it on your own. They work just perfect. But I added whole wheat flour to it just to complement, to bring it a little bit down to the floury taste. Obviously, the best flour to use is white flour. Since we don't use white flour, it's processed food. We don't use that. We use whole wheat flour and chickpea flour. Okay, so welcome everyone. Hi Linda. Hi Francis. I think I mentioned this before. Hi Sharon. Okay, great. Let's get started. I'm going to start with my apple filling today because that takes a little bit longer, and then the crab right afterwards. Okay, so I'm using green apples and I left the skin on simply because I want the nutrients in there. That's it. You can peel it if you don't like the skin on it. Usually, uh, it's very similar to an apple pie filling, so to speak, but I just chose to leave the skin on. Um, okay, let's get started. I'm gonna, as usual, not as usual, but I will post my recipes on my blog later so you can see it there as well. Good. Let me switch my camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. I'm going to add the apples, put them in my pot, and crank it up to high heat first, just to heat up the pot. Then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cinnamon, some lemon juice, half a lemon, and then I'm going to add a little bit of apple cider, not vinegar, apple cider, just to complement the apple mixture. Okay, now I'm gonna cover it and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so until the apples are all cooked. So in the meanwhile, we can do our crepes. And for that, I'm going to use a quarter cup of chickpea flour, a quarter cup of whole wheat flour, and again a teaspoon of cinnamon, not a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, I'm sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to mix my dry ingredients. One more thing, I forgot. 1 teaspoon of flax meal, which I just made. Can you actually see that? Yeah. Mix them all up. And what I really like to do is I like to mix my ingredients, put them through a strainer so they're really, really fine. Because for crepe, we want to have a really, really smooth dough. You see all these things in here? They're going to be in there and they're not going to look nice. Okay. Return it back to my bowl, and I'm making a mess here. Our apples are cooking away. I'm going to turn down the heat to a simmer. And let me just clean up this mess here. Oh, the apples smell so delicious. Oh my goodness. It's cooking a little too high. Let's turn it down a little bit. So now I'm going to mix my dry ingredients with seltzer water. I gotta be honest, I'm not really, I don't really like to use recipes, but obviously for crepes and for baked ingredients it's always good to use recipes. So I'm gonna use my cup. That's about a half a cup, and mix my dry ingredients. That's a little bit more. So 3/4 cup. I'm gonna reflect that in the recipe. So it's very important that we let the recipe, the dough, stand a few seconds, maybe a few minutes. So first of all, that the flax meal can really work. The flax meal is basically there instead of the eggs. So we want to make sure that the flax meal gets his viscosity, which we're looking for similar in eggs. Let it stand for a few seconds. Okay, our apple is cooking. And when our crepes are ready, the apples will be ready, and we can serve the dish. So for this meal, for this crepe, I used golden flax meal, which you have brown and golden flax meal. The difference really minor, so it doesn't really matter. I used the golden one, so it doesn't reflect in my crepe dough. I don't want those brown speckles in there. That's why I used the golden one. And of course, we cannot forget our vanilla, about a teaspoon. Okay, and you can tell the you don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. It has to be thinner than pancake dough, that's for sure, but not too thin. It shouldn't be watery. It should be, you know, thin enough, and I will show you why. When you pour the crepe dough, the crepe batter into the pan, it needs to be easily spreadable. With the pancake dough, it's too thick, and it never will become a crepe. So that's very, very important. Keep this in mind. I'm going to show you how to do this in a second. We're going to switch spots here. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Okay, no questions right now. Okay, so with the crepe pan, I'm using a scan pan, and you all know I'm a fan of scan pans. I think I can use it without oil, but I don't want to take the risk today. So I'm going to use a little bit of spray oil. You know me, I usually never use oil ever, but and I'm almost certain that it will work without oil in my pan, but for, you know, I don't want to jinx it right now. So our apples cooking away. They're almost there. Okay, you want to make sure that the pan is hot, not too hot. So I have it on medium heat right now. And usually the first crab is always crab, so to speak. That's because the pan needs, heating up to the right heat. It's always like this. For you, and maybe 2 or 3 crabs. It all depends when you find your sweet spot of heat for your pan. And of course, your pan cannot stick. If it sticks, then forget about it. This is another issue that you see. Now the dough is coming together. Since here is a little bit of gluten in because of the whole wheat, it starts to work, so it's getting thicker. In this case, I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. Okay, because I don't want it too thick. So I put exactly 3/4 cup of sparkling water. You know what? One thing, lemon zest, which I made earlier. I'll put this in too because I like my pancakes to have a little bit of flavor in. Good. Hello? Yes? Oh, hi. Hi, Jason. I'm on a Zoom call right now. Can I call you back in a few minutes? Yes, we can. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry, I just had a phone call. Okay, now we can start. I'm going to add a little bit of spray in my pan. My pan is medium hot. I'm going to use a ladle. So just put a little bit in the center. And make it bigger, like this. So this is a small crab. As I always said, your first crab is always crab. That's okay. That's for the taste testers. To me, this crab is too thick. The dough is too thick too. That means we have to add a little bit of water to it. So I want you to always keep this in mind. Let's add a little bit of sparkling water. Okay, I like it a little bit thinner than that. Okay, then we look on the bottom. If it gets slightly brown, that's what we want. And you see how beautiful it's coming out of the pan. You see, with a crab, you don't want your crab to be meaty, so to speak. Meaty, I mean floury, doughy. Okay, so this is the first crab. This is a little bit doughy. It's crab. It's for the taste tester. If you have kids, if you have anyone around, they can have that. That's the first one. Okay, now we're gonna change it like this. See how beautiful it comes out. Really nice. To me, it's a little too thick. Should be a little bit thinner than that. Since crab or crepe are, very, very thin pancakes, so to speak. Of course, everyone has a different idea about crepes. If you like them a little bit thinner than pancakes, but still a little doughy, that's fine. Go for it. You make it your way. So our apple is almost ready. We don't want to become an apple sauce. Don't mix this up, because apple sauce is apple sauce. We wanted it like a apple pie filling. Okay, so it's almost perfect. That's how we want it. You want some kind of consistency in there, some kind of texture. Okay, so this crepe is ready. Turn it over. Put this here. Okay. So now we can put the next set of crepe in there. Okay, and watch the pan again. Center, and right away we tilt it in a way that it gets bigger. Okay. To me, the dough is still too thick. Add a little bit more water to it. Okay. But here we have a little bit the characteristics of a crepe. You see those little tiny holes here? That's more like a crepe. So we can tell already the dough is much thinner. The crepe itself is not as thick as the other one. As you can tell, you see you have no holes around here. Here we do have. Okay, so these are the characteristics. Yet and you have some few holes here in the center. Beautiful. We're getting there. And a beautiful color. That's what we want. Okay. So now our apples are ready. We're waiting for the crepe to be ready, and that's it. Ooh. See this? This is a beautiful color. Oh my goodness. The only drawback is I didn't clean the pan properly, so you see some brown spots here. So in a restaurant, we don't want that. Okay, that's it. Turn it over. Beautiful, stunning. Okay, let's rest it on the side. I'm going to clean this pan. I'm going to make my, just rinsing out, just water. That's it. Tiny little bit of. Okay. Remember the pan has cooled down a little bit, which is okay. Use the dough. Remember, if I want a bigger pancake, I just add more to it. That's it. Okay, so this is a big one. Not perfect, but no. Good. Okay. So in a minute, I'm going to serve the crepe. I'm going to assemble them, and then I will show you how to dress them up. So here is what I like to do. I like to add just a teaspoon of frozen blueberries into my, a little bit more. That's it. I'm just gonna let them melt, defrost, so to speak. So that gives me a little bit of color. Okay, and here again, you see those edges of the pancake, beautiful, nice and thin. Almost there. We don't want to flip it too early, then it's going to interrupt the cooking process. You want to make sure that you have a nice, evenly brown texture, and it's almost there. If it doesn't, let go from the surface, just leave it a little bit longer. Yes. Good. Okay. Almost there. Look how beautiful it's coming up. Good, good. And you see how fluffy it is? And that's even without baking powder. 4 eggs. Beautiful. Okay. Nice. That's it. Okay. That's it. Heat this up one more time. That's it. And what I like to do with these here, I'd like to give my apple mixture a little bit crunch. And I do that by adding maybe a quarter cup of trail mix. So this is, I like to use cranberries, walnuts, pumpkin seeds. What else we have in here? So it's just a nut blend in here, just to give it a little bit of texture. Okay, that's it. Not gonna do anything else. Now I'm gonna put this, turn it off. So there's 3 ways you can fill the crepes. You can obviously You can obviously fill the crepes by putting your filling right here and then roll it up, make them round like this. You can flip your crepes like this over again. The way we do it for crepes is that, like the orange crepes. And then we would basically serve 2 or 3 crepes at the same time, like this. Okay. Like this, and then we pour the sauce on top of it. So there's different ways you can do this. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of filling inside and a little bit of filling outside. Okay. We want to make sure that your upper filling is a little bit juicy, so we can actually use some of the juice for decoration. I'm going to add a little bit of water in here. Okay, so now we're going to roll this up. Okay. Obviously, this should have been done on a separate plate, obviously. But for the purpose of showing you, I did it on the same plate here. Okay. So now we're going to use the remainder and just pouring it on top of here. Ooh, I have a nice dessert in a few minutes. I'm looking forward for that. And you could actually serve this with some ice cream if you like. Talking about whole food plant-based, right? We're talking about some nice cream, like what is a good one? A mango. Mango would be nice here as well. You could also do a banana ice cream. Anything works this way. So that's basically it. Very simple. That's my way of doing a crepe. And if you had some juices, which I really don't have, you could add a little bit here. Just for decorational purposes. And that's it. That is my crepe with a warm apple cinnamon filling. Let me change my camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, here we are again. And that is my very simple crepe. It's made with garbanzo flour or chickpea flour, it's the same. Whole wheat flour, obviously it's not gluten-free. If you want a gluten-free, just use garbanzo flour. And I used 1 tablespoon of flax meal. So this particular dough is, let me lie, a 1/4 cup of chickpea flour, a 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour, 1 tablespoon of flax meal, about 3/4 cup of sparkling water, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and a zest from 1 lemon. So that's basically the dough. You want to make sure the dough is not too thick, otherwise it becomes more like a pancake. And the upper mixture I used 2 big green apples, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter cup of trail mix, about a half a cup of not apple cider vinegar, and the juice from half a lemon. So that's basically what I did, and I'm going to post the recipe later on my blog so you can see. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I used 2 apples. I used 2 green apples. I left the skin on, cut it in small pieces, like half an inch pieces. I cooked it, not until it became a apple sauce, but more like a pie filling. Okay, so always make sure you have some liquid left. Okay, let's see if we have any questions. See, we have quite a few people joined us. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Holly. Hi, Susan. Hi, Francis. Oh, Francis, I said earlier already. Okay, good. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed it. I would say I'd see you throughout the week. And of course, anyone who is in the boot camp, I see you hopefully tomorrow, maybe for our accountability session. Otherwise, I see you Sunday. And thanks, Susan, for the explanation. Chickpea flour is also garbanzo bean. Yes, that's what I mentioned earlier. Thanks, Beth. Okay, great, excellent, good. Have a great day, everyone. Anyone who's watching from YouTube, please give it a thumbs up and follow my channel. It helps me grow my channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Any more information, you know where to go, eatlikeaveganchef.com. And I'll see you next week. Have a great week and be safe and think plant-based.